do an alley dock on my test. That's wrong. Only 33% of students, yep, just 1/3, end up doing an alley dock on their test. A little confused about the backing section? Have no fear. Stay tuned. This episode is all about breaking down the maneuvers test. Backing section can be one of the most intimidating and confusing sections of the entire test. First of all, how do I back a combination vehicle? Left goes right, right goes left. This seems a little different, a little new. The second thing is, how do I even win this test? How is it scored? What am I gonna actually be doing? So, it's pretty simple. If we just examine it, let's take a closer look. Now that first question will generally be solved by having access and practice in a combination vehicle. But that second question we can get an understanding of weeks, even months before ever stepping into a combination vehicle. So let's focus on that first. What will I actually be doing during a maneuvers test? The current maneuvers test consists of backing 3 of a possible 6 maneuvers. Now what do I mean by this? Well, on your test day, you will be randomly assigned 3 maneuvers to back of a possible 6. So we need to know how to do all 6, but we're only gonna have to do 3. Which 3 are we gonna have to do? Well, they'll randomly be chosen from tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, one of each. So let's get into the specifics of those tiers. Tier 1, pretty straightforward stuff, or straight backing stuff, depending on who you ask. It's a little backing joke. Tier 1 is always going to be a straight line back, no matter what. Through the box, all the way, set your brakes, tap your horn to signal you're done. So, very predictable there. Tier 2 is always going to be an offset, either to the left or to the right. Again, pretty predictable there. We're going to pull all the way up, put a couple cuts in the truck and trailer, and back ourselves into the box right next to us on either the left or to the right. Tier 3 is where it can get a little bit confusing. We're either going to be doing a left parallel, a right parallel, or that alley dock. With a parallel, you're going to pull up straight in the lane past those cones and then back behind them snugly. With that alley dock, you're going to pull all the way up to the end of the training pad, put a cut in the truck and the trailer, and slowly back to the left into that 90-degree box. So all that stuff is pretty straightforward. If we have access and practice, we're going to be able to iron this out pretty quick. So those are the 6 maneuvers, of which we will only have to do 3. But how do the points work? How does the timing work? Let's talk about that. So let's start with the points. First question is, do we want them? Second question is, how do we get them? The first answer is, no, we do not want them. The fewer the points, the better. As we can see right up here, 0 to 12 points, that's a pass. 13 or above is going to be a fail. So how do we get these points? Well, there's one of 2 ways. We either use an extra pull-up past our free pull-ups, and that costs us 1 point, or we hit a wall and that contact costs us 2 points. Plus, we then have to pull up to get off that contact. So you end up using a pull-up or a free pull-up in the process of hitting a wall. So the best way to keep ourselves from getting a lot of points is to have a plan as we're backing. And if we look like we're gonna get close, use a free pull-up to get off that wall and then come back and give it a second try. Have a plan, see it before you do it, and you should be in good shape to keep those points as low as possible. Now the second thing we're up against is time. As we can see right up here, 15 times 3 is what we've written up there. What that means is you have 15 minutes per maneuver. 15 minutes for your straight line, another 15 minutes for your offset, and then 15 minutes for that parallel or that alley dock. Each maneuver, the moment you start backing up, that new clock begins. So if we think about 15 minutes, that's really a lot of time. It takes most students only about 3 or 4 minutes for that straight line, no more than 5 or 6 minutes for that offset, and typically no more than 7 or 8 minutes for that alley dock or that parallel. So we're not short on time. Typically what gets in the way is making a mistake and then having to pull up to fix that mistake. So do your best to go slow and have a plan. We're not in a big hurry. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Okay, so in summary, we know that on our test day, we're going to be doing 3 of a possible 6 maneuvers chosen at random. That first maneuver will always be a straight line, that second will always be an offset to the left or right, and that third will always be either a parallel or an alley dock. we know that we get 15 minutes per maneuver, and we know that we get 0 to 12 points to pass that test. So, pretty straightforward stuff once we get a closer look at it. Now, a little bit on how to approach this test. Two main things. First off, remember to take your time. We are not in a big hurry. 15 minutes is an ocean of time, and the right thing slow is better than the wrong thing fast. So, see it before you do it. The second thing is, when you use a pull-up, have a plan. I'll tell you something I tell my students all the time, and it's going to be with you for the entirety of your career as an operator. How you pull up is how easy or how difficult it is to back up. So make sure that when you are pulling yourself up into a position, that you're doing it with some sort of idea in mind. You're a big rectangle dragging an even bigger rectangle behind you. It's not like in a car where we can just pull up and figure it out on the way back. We need to have a plan. So see it before you do it. Okay, there's a rundown on your maneuvers test, the 3 of the 6 possible maneuvers, the point system, and the clock that's involved. If you have any questions about the specifics of these maneuvers themselves, please check out that 1, 2, 3 on your straight line back video, as well as the how to pass your CDL exam, part 1 and part 2, and that's gonna go over the specifics of your straight line, offset, parallel, and alley dock. Other than that, guys, same stuff as always. Please comment below, hit me up with any questions, and share this video to anybody that you think could use a little adventure in their life, right? Other than that, stay safe, stay smart. Until next time. Maneuvers test. One from tier 2 and one from tier 3. Tongue twister. Whoa, maneuvers test. Start position, cutting ourselves. Hard, point, cleanly.